relatives, Alapin Chunta, Sage Romero here, and again, I just want to do the ingredients on this portion so that you could see. I'm pre-recording this. It's actually getting ready for our family's feast day, so I'm doing that right now just to make it tie in and make use of multiple days of filming so you can see the process in the best way possible. So we start off with some active yeast. This is active yeast right here, high active yeast, and we do 6 3/4 teaspoons into the large bowl. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we got the active yeast in there, and I take 2 cups of warm water. This is measured out. Usually I do it by the spirits way, you know, you feel it till it looks just right, but I wanted to make it proper for this tutorial so that you could follow along, and I don't know how it's going to work, but you know, here we go. So we put 2 cups of that water in here. Now mind you, if you have formal techniques, that's good. I'm sure people do, but this is just the way that I've worked and developed it. Now we mix that yeast up. I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera over so you can kind of see the texture of the liquid and the yeast. Okay, so we got a nice little texture. You want to mix it up till see all those little chunks there. You want to make sure those are all gone. So that's what we're going to do with that. Very important to think good thoughts when you're doing your bread now. You always want to put that reinforcement of good feelings to the family, people you're providing for, and whoever's going to be partaking of this bread, or whatever you want to call it. And I tend to like to do the liquid first. I want to make sure everything's mixed together, and then I add the flour after, just so I can mix it up. And again, traditionally speaking, you know, we had the grinded corn and all those things that our people used from our lands. But now, with the way things are, we've adapted, as our people tend to do. But I have about 3.5 quarts of warm water. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there again. Boom. Make sure you get the sides so that the sides they got stuff can get in there. Bam. Okay, see now? Put that to the side. Now we got sea salt. I like to use sea salt myself. The grind is nice and strong so that I can feel the texture and everything. And take 6 tablespoons of this. Yes, it's very salty, but that's just how I was instructed to do. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, there you go. So we got the 6 tablespoons of sea salt in there. Now, I'm going to take time to mix it up, stir it until I don't hear that coarse grind. You know, you hear the grains on the bottom of the liquid grinding against the bowl. I'm going to just keep going until they're dissolved for the most part. Next, I have some vegetable shortening. Cooking on the stove, not cooking, but I just have it warming up so it's melted and nice and into a nice liquid consistency. And you don't want that liquid to be more than 120 degrees. I mean, that's hot. That's too hot almost. You want it to be less than 120 degrees before you put it in your liquid mix. The reason why is because that if it goes in too hot, it'll cook and pretty much kill the yeast. And that will affect the rising pattern of the dough. So it won't rise, it'll just sit there and be stagnant, and it'll be a little chunk of dough. Okay, so my temperature looks great. Looks like I'm at about 85 degrees with the lard. Again, this is vegetable shortening I'm using. People traditionally would use lard. They'll take big lard and just throw it in there, you know. Okay, so see, here is our active yeast mixed with sea salt and water. But I'm going to go ahead and take the vegetable shortening. Again, this is a substitute for lard, just because I want to be a little bit more conscious about what you and 2 and 3. So 3 1/3 cups. All right, so we got that here. Bada bam, 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 bam. I also tend to like to wash my dishes as I go. So we'll go there. Okay, so now we want to mix it up. We want to spread out that lard, that vegetable shortening, lard, whichever you choose to use. I got flour and 24 cups. This is a cup size. Is going to go into this bowl. Hopefully I got enough. Let's see. So I'm going to take So I got this little thing, take it and I scrape it off the top. 1, see? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. Till the ancestors say okay. Till the ancestors say good. Ho. Good enough. Nah. Okay. So now we come into hand power. This is the part where we use our hands. You get in there, whip it up. Nah. There we go. Mix it up. Mix it up. Hope I don't have too much. So I'm going to take these terry cloths, kitchen towels. Just going to gently place it over them and set it to the side and let it rise. Okay, so as you can see, my akatu is right behind me here, but this is the portion where we want to make sure we split our logs right after we do the mixing of the dough, so that we load it up and the oven is ready to cook as soon as that goes. Then you also want to gather the chips so you can start the fire. Okay, so now this is my akatu here, kind of made it the same way as my family in Taos did, and just following the basic principles of how she should be shaped and everything. But it's all earthen oven, and it's been serving its purpose for a couple of years now, so it's doing good. But now, I'm going to take this wood here and load it up. So as you can see in the oven, I like to fill it up till you can kind of see the whole pile within the door, and then from there we'll light it up later on and go from there. Okay, so we've moved on to our next phase, which is getting our pans ready. I go ahead and take a little bit of shortening and line it on each of the pans with brush like so. So I cover it up real good, just so the dough, when it cooks, it won't stick to the pan, to the heat. So we take our dough, we go ahead and give it a good little beat down. Like it says, excellent massage technique, a way to get that stress out. Yeah! Good, okay. To loaves. And usually I got some extra flour to put upon my hands. Just keep it dry, and so that I could form up the dough real nicely. Okay, so I do this nice little flowing motion, kind of like this, and I palm it up, bring it around, make a nice little bun like that. Okay, I got enough dough here for about 4 good sized bricks. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I can make a good size. So we're going to set them aside and cover them again with cloths and let them rise a little bit. But what I like to do is I also like to score them. If I don't put any designs on it, or like a turtle, like I said, or flowers, I usually do this just so that it gives it some personality, some different designs you can do when you're scoring your dough. And these show quite lovely when they're cooked in the akatu. Some of these normal designs I like to incorporate. So I like to do a thundercloud, something like that. Okay, so after we got them all shaped up, I'm going to go ahead and cover them up. Let them rise a little bit on their own. And then from here, I'm going to go out and start the fire.